Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Let's look at Bitcoin because I can't really ignore what's going on right now with this ridiculous run. And the one thing, right, that actually kind of worries me about this looks like it's just gone absolutely bananas, right? And I've recently told well, not recently, but I've been telling my chat that I'm bullish up until 2025, where I think Bitcoin will top out at about 120, 130, right? The only reason right now where I'm a little bit worried is that because this hasn't really gone mainstream. You know what I mean? Like we haven't had any sort of news on crypto like where it is becoming like where this is mainstream and it's being talked about all over the news, right? Back in 2020, we were hitting like 30K, 40K, and this was all over the news, right? Every single day, this was being like captured. And now there's nothing, right? That's the one thing that kind of worries me about this, right? Is that this is, nobody is talking about this at all whatsoever. And I wanted to check the market cap because I'm pretty sure the market cap is pretty high up there, right? There we go. So market cap, I personally think that we are still gonna go up because we have never had any kind. And remember, I released this video on what to do. I actually thought we were gonna come down a little bit from here, but I did say if you break above 2 trillion, buy the hell out of Bitcoin because we're gonna keep running, right? I think I released that video like a week ago, where I said what I would do in my Bitcoin, like if was holding Bitcoin, what I would do, right? I would essentially sell like 80% of it or like 90% here at 1.9 trillion. If at any point we break the 2 trillion mark, I would say flood the fuck back in and just hold that shit because it's gonna hit 2.4 trillion almost guaranteed, and we're almost there. So I do think that Bitcoin has a little bit more room to go up before, I don't want to say before it crashes down, but before you start seeing some resistance, right? Because you have obvious resistance at 2.5 trillion market cap, as well as like 2.8 and 3 trillion market cap. So as of right now, because we're in high at such a high price, I'd argue that looking at the market cap up here is a little bit more prominent than looking at Bitcoin's price, right? I think Bitcoin's price right now is really only important once we get back to all-time highs, right? So right now, we are really only, I think, one level away from hitting the last real resistance, which is that this at 66,400 basically, right? I think that's the major. We have three levels, right? Which is the one we just hit right now, 63K. We have another one at 66K, and then the last one is the previous all-time high at 69,000. If you break that 69,000 high on Bitcoin, yeah, 69,000. If you break that high, I think that this is gonna just, completely just moonshot, right? This is the high of 67. Yeah, so different places, right? And here, let me get rid of these little squares because we don't need them. I don't even know why I have so much crap here. Oh, that's right. I think it was the only chart that didn't actually have stuff. Can I get rid of this? Yeah. I'm just trying to get rid of all the lines and squares. What is it? Object tree. It's fine. Let me get rid of this. So this is my original chart that I show my Patreon chat, right? And this is essentially what I thought, right? This is basically what I thought is going to happen. I think that we're going to top out on July 2025. I think that's where the top is going to be, but this is my peak Bitcoin price, right? And I've had this chart up for I think 2 years now, right? Since I made this. And this is basically it. This is a very simple chart. My indicator on the monthly called out the bottom perfectly back in October 2022, right? It basically said open up longs at 21,000 bucks, right? You would have had a little bit of drawdown to like 16K, but ultimately you would have been at a 300% gain right now, right? If you just listen to the monthly. If you listen to my weekly indicator, right? You would have been loading this up. You would have been loading the bag at 27,400. You would have been loading the bag at here. Yeah, your huge bag would have been 27,400 to load the F up. And then before that, you would have been loading up since 22.5. So it would have been nothing but just here loading. This whole area would have been just loading up, right? If we go into the 2 week, same thing. Yeah, you would have loaded the bags around close around 23K and then again around 17K, right? Before you kept that push. So, yeah, anything the weekly and above like called out the bottom perfectly on my indicators. But as of right now, I do think there's more push to the upside just because the total chart hasn't hit that $2.9 million market cap. And generally what happens when you hit or when you break 2 trillion, you there's like a 90% chance you go to 2.4 or 2.5 trillion, which more than likely would actually indicate, Bitcoin actually going to those highs, right? So as for Bitcoin, still very bullish, right? Everything is broken right now. I think right now you're seeing a little bit of resistance right now just because you are hitting weekly resistance, right? You're hitting weekly resistance, which is this red line, and you're hitting mid-channel trend. So I would not be surprised to see something like this happen where you like drop a little bit like this and then you shoot up. But again, once you start seeing resistance like this, right? There's a very good chance that you can just come all the way back down to like 59K, 60K, right? So right now it's kind of up in the air just because, there's a lot of bull momentum right now. Um, but yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to go a little bit higher. I think at least to that 2.933 trillion market cap. And then from there, I think we come back, do more analysis and see where we're headed, right? But as of right now, I do think we're headed another, you know, what is it, 500 million market cap to the upside, right? So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.